If this works the way the internet says it does, TIG welding's in trouble. Gas welding's in trouble. It came. It finally came. The big one. Danger. Class 4 laser. Invisible laser radiation. Cool. Man, this is pretty cool. I'm excited to try this out. I've wanted to try one of these for a long time. Pretty cool how we get to do this. Yep, not upside down, right way up. If this works the way the internet says it does, TIG welding's in trouble. Gas welding's in trouble. What we have here is a laser welder, a laser cleaner, and a laser cutter. Is it all hype, or is it really the future of restoration?
It's in essence a sophisticated heat beam which we called a laser.
The most versatile laser welding machine, an all-in-one welding, cutting, cleaning, and rust removal. I reckon this is awesome because like on the Porsche project, not only do we have new sheet metal where it's nice and clean and fresh and we can perfectly join things together exactly right, we're dealing with old metal as well. It's pitted, it's got rust, and in situations sometimes you can't always get right in there and weld it. So this is going to be great because if we need to do a fresh weld, we can go in and clean the rust right next to our new metal and get that weld. I mean, that's the thing we're really after here.
So Pete, this laser welding's not necessarily a new thing, but in sort of a mobile, small setup is a relatively new, yeah?
Look, from my understanding, laser welder has predominantly been used for manufacturing, like factories down assembly lines, programmed robot arms and all that type of stuff. Laser welding comes in. Now we've seen this evolve into portable machines, and now they've become affordable machines. We're going to learn here in this video, if this thing works the way we imagine or been told or want it to work, this is going to change everything. It's affordable, it's clean, it's fast, it's minimal heat, and it's mobile. Like, I think this is going to be great.
Yes, there's a lot of benefits to it.
Huge amount of benefits. Really, what's happened? I mean, what's happened in welding in the last 30 years? Has there been an advancement in welding in 30 years? This could quite well and truly be the future here. Wow, look at that. That's a little sample piece. That's phenomenal. They're 1.5 mil wide. That's ridiculous. And I'm assuming that this edge here, that's an example of the cut edge that the tool does. So as we do the right thing here, let's read the book. The whole first chapter is completely on safety stuff and stuff. Fresh bottle. I think I'll be getting a new regulator as well.
What's wrong with that one?
All assembled, got this thing on the trolley, just went down the local tool shop and just got a cheapy trolley. I mean, these things are pretty standard, everyone can pick these up. Shh, on set. Quiet on set. I just had to duck out, grab an extension cord, 15 amp, single phase power cord for this unit, so it's not a 3-phase thing. We're plugged in, about to switch it on, reading through some information. Really think, good point out, your standard welding helmet's not gonna cut it. You need to have a welding helmet that's specifically suited for laser. So we've got one of those, X-Laser Labs. We're happy to supply us with one of those to go for their machine. So I got no idea technically why we need this, but documentation says laser specific mask. So we got that. On the topic of safety, probably a really good thing to point out is this is pretty serious stuff. We all just like, oh, let's just get into it. I'm so keen to get in here and weld this stuff. But this is what's called a class 4 laser. And did a bit of reading, class 4 lasers, pretty serious stuff. So really we need to be in a sealed, controlled environment, where we can keep the laser away from other people. Long sleeve clothes, gloves, we've got a fire extinguisher. Hopefully we don't need that on this video, but maybe we'll have to wait and see. Probably the biggest thing though, the rules and regulations, they're going to change depending on where you are around the world, your state, your country. It's all different. So always just check up on the safety aspect of what you need to do. And remember, this is a laser beam. Like, this thing shoots lasers. So if we are welding off the bench and we accidentally pass off the bench and go across our foot, that laser's going to hit our foot. We're actually shooting up here and someone's upstairs, laser's going to go hit them. So I think that's the reason why it has to be in a purpose-built or self-contained controlled environment. So this is where we're at. We've got our purpose-built wall here behind us to protect us. We're just going to get into it and get some welding done. So let's go. Let's fire it up. What do we got? Power at the back, pretty standard. Ooh, fancy key, ignition on.
Begin laser ignition sequence.
Begin laser ignition!
We got welding, cutting, and cleaning. Cleaning's going to be fun, especially for what we're doing, restoration work. Man, that would save so much time, cleaning rusty steel, old paint, and crud like that. Especially where you have parts you can't rip off the car. Pretty self-explanatory. Welding, confirm. I have no idea where to start.
So you got to hit that button in the middle as the on. So this essentially is like the third on, and then you're happy that
Safety
you've
warning.
got your safety warning going on.
Fantastic.
And now we're live.
Before we weld, we should go through some of our samples here we've laid out. We've cut up some sheet. I got 0.95 mild steel, cold rolled panel steel. It's pretty much what we use predominantly, sheet metal, especially in restoration. So we'll do most of, we're going to do pretty much today. We're just going to do this. We're not going to get into the heavy stuff. Real world scenario. You know, we've got rusty old car, nice clean fabricated piece. We can experiment with this with some cleaning and some welding. I might dice this in half and do an uncleaned and a cleaned, or because this thing cleans itself, laser cleaner. So what would happen if this was in the car, rusty old stuff, put your new piece, you want to do one pass with laser clean, second pass with weld. That would be amazing. That would be game changer. So we've got that. Fabricated piece that's oily, we can use that. Fabricated piece that's rusty, so we can play around with that. So this rust is not too old. That's only about 3-4 months worth of rust. That leads us into the next thing where we've got real world hardcore rust. So here we have 60-year-old rust on that.
So that's a bit of Porsche off cut.
Bit of Porsche, bit of 63, 1963 Porsche. Over here I want to experiment. We've got some tinning paste. So this was leaded and then it's tinned. We've blown the lead off and there's some tin there. And old paint, sound dead now. So this will be hardcore for the cleaning side of things. That's going to be awesome. Real world, if you're working in a car and you're trying to clean this and you're trying to get into a corner, couldn't get in there. Let's see what this laser does. Anyway, we've got a few samples. We're going to work through that.
Safety first.
Safety first. Bang. Click to enter the light gate open, light gate open to normal light. Hang on. I got to read that again. Okay,
Go
ready?
again.
Click. So picture of the power button. Let me start again. This is, man, I got to try and read this right. Click to enter the light gate open, light gate open to normal light. Is it just
of
me,
course.
or does that?
No, that's simple. I feel like
Moving on?
these guys need to revise that sentence.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we might get into it. We might find out what that
Might
means.
make sense.
Not now, not yet. Click the rectangle with the bar of golds and sus to enter the preset process welding package. Select the material and the corresponding thickness. The system automatically sets the corresponding welding parameters. That's the one we wanted. That's pretty cool.
Isn't it?
Oh, having those presets.
Knowing you just have to know what you're playing with.
Yep. Here's a good one. This one's important for us. You got the gas before laser, the setup time for blowing gas in advance, and the gas after laser. If you guys, when you set up your sheet metal and you set it up and you spent ages making these parts, you butt them up really nice and you run through and you do your tacks, it's always really good to run excess gas after the tack, not only to cool it, but to stop the impurities from the atmosphere getting into your tack as it's cooling. So there's always like the, I don't know what the settings are on the TIG, but I always run, 3, 4, 5 seconds of extra gas after the weld. So on this machine, in those parameter screen we just showed, you can do that. You can do your gas pre and post weld, which is pretty cool. Yep, I reckon there's another page there of information. We read that one. Yep, we read that one and that one. And the next one. Now we can weld. About to do this weld. Put this earth clip on. We just noticed, I was about to put this, not an earth clip, safety. About to put this safety clip on. But we've got our steel welding bench. This is pretty light duty. I reckon this could be a little bit heavier, perhaps. But anyway, we noticed if we just clamp this on our bench, we're set to go because the metal conducts electricity, so it's all going through. This little light just over here on the side,
Just trying to...
it goes from red to green. So that gives us more green to go. So what's the alarm light telling us?
Well, that must have been the page that you skipped, Pete.
Here it is here. The heat band though, that penetration, well, let's check that out.
Is that
actually.
connected it underneath?
It's welded it to the steel.
Wow.
It's almost hotter. Look at that. It's hotter on the back side than the top side. That's amazing. That's brilliant. That's... Let's just try a spot weld. I've seen other dudes overlap and try and run a weld on the overlap on a car. You just don't need that type of weld. So what you do need is a spot weld. I want to just jump ahead here and go straight into doing a spot weld. I'm going to keep it off my bench so I don't weld it to my bench.
Yeah, you can hear the gas. Yeah, it's flashing on and
You
off.
can hear it ramp in and ramp out. Hear the power ramping. I might turn the wire speed down. Wire feeding configuration. Oh, I can work. You can do it with gloves. All right.
Next.
I might try going forward instead of backward. That's really hard because the wires, you're working against the wire. That one there, look at that one. That's that good looking one. Let's put that aside for later. We'll do some, I think there's a...
Looks promising though,
Well,
doesn't
Pete
it?
was telling me there's a technical way to test a spot weld or tear apart. You chuck it in the vise and let's find out. Let's put that aside. We'll come back to that. Looks promising for some spot welds though, without a crazy spot weld machine where you have to get to both single-sided spot welds. You don't need the arms that come and clamp. You can just put your job on and bang bang.
Which seems to be one of the biggest problems. Like we've hit that with the Porsche trying to get around where the dash and everything is. Even with the huge arms on it,
Yep.
you're still limited.
I reckon that's a thing for later. We're going to play around with the wire speed and the gas and try and optimise the spot weld. The tack. That's the next thing we're always doing is tacking two bits together and then welding them. We're going to try and tack these together.
All right, tack time.
Yeah. So normally when you weld across your body, but this machine seems to work better this way. Don't think that worked. That looks like it's tacked. Super neat. That is ridiculous. You know how much faster that is in trying to do that for TIG? Once we get that wire feed dialed in.
We need to sort of get the temp gauge on
Look.
it and see what...
Look. Have you been recording that whole time?
Yeah.
That's like
It's not even hot, not even warm.
50 degrees, even, not even.
So we need to do a side-by-side comparison
They feel pretty.
in a later video.
Well, we're going to do a second video.
Yeah.
So we're going to plan is, guys. You've seen 2-3 minutes ago. We just turned this thing on. We're going to do all this experiment. We're going to put this welder into action and do a second video follow up once we roll this in and implement it. But so far, this is looking so good. This is going to be such a great time saver. If we can tack like that tiny amount of heat so fast. Now we just got to figure out how to weld it. Maybe you just do it like that.
Just give a little wiggle at the end.
Look at that penetration. All the way, oh. Yeah. I'm gonna do one more weld and try and planish that out. But that, seriously, first time laser welder right there. Over the tack and off the end of the job.
Not quite.
That's just teething issues. That's for us to figure out that. You can see there I was a bit fast in the middle there. Not quite enough penetration. Let's just try that little end bit. I'm going to try and planish it out on the dolly straight up. So I'm just trying to get that bit of shrink out of the center of the sheet. There's a little bit there, so I might just have to planish it slightly harder than I would have normally.
Not a lot of grinding required.
It's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive, that is. I think I'm in love. I'll put a close up on the screen, but no distortion, no grinding, no sparks, full penetration, except for that tiny bit, which was my fault. But the weld is just, that is magnificent. I can't wait to spend more time getting to know that. And those spot welds, they're going to be crazy. I'm going to sort them out. But let's move on to the next thing. Absolutely blown away with this welding. Man, I've got to mention, thanks to X Laser Lab for reaching out and putting a deal together. We partnered on this to learn more about it. And the whole goal of the video is to see if this thing's suitable for restoration. Is there value in this? Does it work? Does it solve a bunch of solutions? That's what we're working through. But this machine so far, on first impressions, this X1 Pro, potentially this could be a real game changer for restoration. But if you guys are interested in trying one of these, we've got an affiliate link in the description. You can go get one yourself. So check the link below, go check it out. We're going to continue and we're going to learn some more about these other settings. Next up, we got cutting. We just changed the tip. That's it so far. Just changed the tip, rearranged some stuff. We've got some scrap steel sitting here. We're just going to try and whip through this. So moving from left to right, we're just going to hit the cutting option. And I guess what? Confirm. Vertical cutting strictly prohibited. Angled cutting is permissible. So I guess we just do angle to the side or angle in line. We'll figure that one out. Nice bit of warning, and it's changed all of our settings. Chop, chop. Okay, point and shoot, and this is where we need to be careful of all of our power cables. Might move over here a bit more. Power cables and toes. Let's give it a shot. That's nuts. It's
making a mess of the
look
floor.
what happens to the floor.
The floor literally
the
caught
floor.
on fire.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, okay.
It's not too bad. Man, if you had something flammable down on the floor and shot it, it would take off. More time. It cuts like it cuts. If you had to cut a big chunk out, you know, it's not as neat as like a $500,000 laser, but it's 1/100th of the price.
You want to run it through the alloy for a laugh?
If that's gone through, it's actually neater than the thin steel. Yeah, it's hot.
You'd expect it to be hot. All right, cutting, done.
For high precision stuff, you're going to get a big laser to cut it. I think we've got more time. We're going to put more time in and learn these settings more. If you had some bracket you were making and you're on the fly and you didn't mind a little bit of cleanup, you could cut that out and get it cleaned up. It'd be still way faster than trying to do it with a grinder. Cleaning, confirm, and has done is changed all the settings. 8mm width, so that'd be interesting. 40% power. Okay. If I go further out, less powerful. It's actually melting the steel. Look at the heat. Wow. I wonder if you could use this to heat shrink. Do you reckon I've gone too aggressive? I go a bit lighter.
Finding that sweet spot, isn't it?
Yeah. You can just see there.
See it start to happen.
You know what though, that has cleaned the rust off though, where I was further out. But it got hot too. Paint, let's try old paint.
Have some crusty, rusty portions, see what happens there.
This is gonna get hot. Okay, here we go. How's the sound effect?
Yeah, it's full Star Wars, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bzz, bzz.
Let's try, there's a seam there. Let's try and get that seam.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Let's check the cleaning. Sorry, a little bit of paint here. I know sometimes these areas around window frames are difficult to get to around spot weld, so let's just try cleaning the paint in difficult to get to locations.
That does a pretty good job, you would say, wouldn't you?
Definitely cleans the paint off. That's a great job. Just hot. I think I wouldn't be doing that in the middle of a panel, in sheet metal, but around edges and corners. Let's have a look a little bit more up on that flange there.
Well, compared to alternative methods for that sort of location.
It's definitely faster and cleaner than any other way. Try the leads. There we go. You know what? This could be this would be super effective for removing lead because you can put the heat exactly where you want it compared to a torch. Like a torch is a big flame, right? And it spreads out and blows it out everywhere. But if you want to go in and do a repair next to lead or clean it out in a delicate area, this would be a better option because it's so precise and controllable. Really impressed with this thing. The welding is 12 out of 10, 15 out of 10, just absolutely blown away. I'm so excited to use this as the welder on the build and implement this and learn more about it. The cleaning, we need to learn more about, get those settings dialed in, especially the cutting. I think it's gonna cut, it'll cut neat. It's up to us to learn these settings, but the welding, I'm blown away. There's one more thing, I think we could heat shrink. I really think we could use this to heat shrink. Learn more about this, we're gonna use it some more, get to know it, and we'll come back with more.